Alright, doing a response video to a Barf Keane pile of crap. And Mindem rest in peace. Yeah, whatever. This apparently is, Barf Keane's counter argument to the you have to be an idiot to be a Christian argument. And the argument that I pointed out that Darwin was no theist. Anyway, so he doesn't even know what book things are actually written in. Well, anyway, we'll play the video and respond appropriately.
Rather impossibility of conceiving this immense and wonderful universe, including man with his capacity of looking far backwards and far into futurity, as a result of blind chance or necessity. When thus reflecting, I feel compelled to look to a first cause having an intelligent mind in some degree analogous to that of man, and I deserve to be called a theist. Charles.
Analogous. Analogous. Yeah, well, whatever. Right. So, Brett, this quote is quote mining, right? You know what quote mining is? Well, it's kind of like plagiarism in a way, to tell you the truth. It's just what liars do. So, of course, it's the game you would play, is quote mining Charles Darwin. And don't quote mine him when he's the freest to speak. Just quote mine him when he's the unfreest to speak. Okay? But clearly Darwin pointed out, this was my understanding, even when he got married, he was already done with Christianity because the Christian God sounded like a fucking lunatic. Just the inconsistencies in the Bible alone. And this gave him some fret because his to-be wife was very religious and blah, 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 blah. And this was a problem in their capacity to have free conversation as he thought about it. But anyway, so I did look this up, as I said, well, what the hell is this crap? And yeah, this sentence right after that, if you go to the next paragraph, he says, yeah, well, that might be what I thought for a little while I was maybe writing The Origin of Species, but yeah, fuck that shit now. And he says, of course he says it in this qualified manner again, but the point is he calls himself agnostic. And later he gets more hostile even to agnostic. So just go ahead and lie about Charles Darwin. It's okay. That's your right as a liar. And then so you quote to fake Sagan how you reveal them for what they are. So I'm just going to reveal you for what you are. You're a manipulator, a distorter, perverter of the truth. You don't give a fuck about the facts. You don't give a fuck about being honest or having anything called integrity. You're just a manipulator and a cheater, clearly. You just cheat. And you cheat people like Charles Darwin. You cheat God by putting him in the title as if you have something, like you are representing God, for fuck's sake. You think... You won't even call yourself a Christian and let you think you can represent God. If there was a God, like I said, you'd be such a squished little piece of shit. You'd be so fucking doomed to double hell. He probably has a double fucking hell, right? He would. For just the special cases like you. The fuckers, carrying his flag in a dishonorable way. And that's all you're doing. You're a dishonorable, just a shit of a human being. So go ahead, play some more games.
Darwin, the founder of evolutionary biology, as quoted in his autobiography.
Again, yes, if you go to his autobiography, they also, when his private autobiography was published, his own kids and his wife took out some, negative religious statements because they just didn't want the heat, I guess. And then later, his granddaughter had to go put them back in. That's the world he lived in. He lived in a frickin' world of the elitist, polite people. And they lived in this world where they figured that the heaths have to believe in God or we're in big fucking trouble.
The question of whether there exists a creator and ruler of the universe has been answered in the affirmative by some of the highest intellects that have ever existed.
So again, this is a statement as if Darwin was saying that's a good thing, or that human beings had it right, when he's saying exactly the opposite in the context. So just keep pretending that this is an affirmative statement when it's actually not an affirmative statement. I never read The Complete Descent of Man just because I thought that was a little bit past Darwin's capacity. So, yeah, that book I'm not completely familiar with.
Charles Darwin, the founder of evolutionary biology, as cited in his book, Descent of Man. Amendum, you didn't actually read the book, did you?
The book I said I read was The Origin of Species. That's the one that has the final paragraph saying all wonders and beautiful and blah 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 as God intended or something. And the final paragraph. Nowhere else in the book, nowhere else in the book is there any kind of, there's everything but, okay, everything but. If you read that book and still believe in God, I'd say you're insane. Because the book just meticulously goes through almost every body part of every pigeon and sheep in the universe and explains to you how all of this stuff is changing all the fucking time. I mean, it goes through all the freaking hybridization of human beings in manipulating animals and how easy it is to do. There's just no room for a sacred designer in a system this where we can fuck with it anytime we want to. This doesn't make sense that God wouldn't make his creations immutable. Doesn't make any sense at all. Why would he let them turn into white people and black people? Why would he do that? He created Adam and Eve. Why would he allow Adam and Eve to turn into different organisms? Doesn't sound like a sensible thing. If I make something, I make a TV set, I don't want to turn into a fucking machine gun. Dumbass. I mean, you believe in a fairy tale, a leprechaun theory. You're sitting here making videos, you dumb motherfucking, thinking you're some kind of smart man, and you're sitting here proselytizing a leprechaun theory. That's all it is. It's just a stupid leprechaun theory. It has no meaning or substance, no evidence whatsoever. Not one fucking shred of goddamn physical evidence of this fucking leprechaun theory. You might as well be telling everybody that 3 pigs invented the universe. Huey, Dewey, and Louie. You stupid pile of pooey.
You talk a lot of smoke, but you didn't actually read it.
Yes, I read The Origin of Species, the first book, fuckhead, the one on evolution, retard. Obviously you don't know he wrote more than one book, huh, dumbass?
But you sure act like you know a whole lot. Let's go ahead and bitch slap.
Yeah, I know enough to know, like I said, I read The Origin of Species and The Voyage of the Beagle. And in those 2 books, there's enough conversation of Darwin's inner thoughts where he's questioning everything, where he's sitting there eating, tortoises, by a fire, and he's talking about, sleeping under the stars and all of that kind of crap. And you get the feeling of what the fuck the man's talking about. And you know that any other conversation where some jackass asked him in a world where you couldn't get a seat in Parliament if you were an atheist. I mean, Darwin was actually asked once to come to the defense of a guy, and he wouldn't, just because he didn't want the heat. Okay? That's how bad it was, jackass, because you fascist Christians and your fascist goddamn authoritarian pretense, because you have a majority of dumbasses. Yeah, that's right. The bell curve means that most people are stupid fucks, and you're one of them. You fat, lazy, stupid-minded, weak-minded, fucking lying piece of crap. Get what you goddamn deserve, buddy. I'm wishing it for you, buddy. I'm wishing you get exactly what you have earned in your life, you lying sack of shit.
You a little bit more, Gary, since you're kind of dumb. In 1927, the Belgian Catholic priest Georges proposed an expanding model for the universe.
Well, why don't you go back to Mendel? Okay, I mean, Mendel did something a lot more important than this crap. I mean, this Big Bang crap is still theory. I mean, all of this stuff is still... You can't even call these guys smart yet because, frankly, I don't think they got anything right. I don't even think they understood what, I don't think they still understand what redshift is properly.
To explain the observed redshifts of the spiral nebula and calculated the Hubble law. He based his theory on the work of Einstein and D. Sitter and independently derived Friedman's equations for an expanding universe. How about that?
Well, how about the fact that a whole bunch of priests molest children? What is that? Does that mean something then, Brett? So if one thing means something, then we have to assume the other thing means something? So the fact that this priest was a scientist means that science is religion, and only smart people can understand God. But if priests molest children and can't figure out that that's wrong, somehow those priests are also an example of God's wisdom and smartness? Yeah, I don't think so, asshole.
The guy who came up with the Big Bang Theory that most...
Did he put God in his name? Like when he had his title on his desk, did he have God Scientist Guy? I'm God Scientist Guy. Did he do that, Brett? Put commercials on it, too? Put commercials on his God show?
Unbelievers accept. Put together by...
Yes, non-fairy taleist. Okay, I'd like to be titled what I really am, jackass. Which is, I'm a non-fairy taleist.
A Catholic priest. Oh, but religious people are stupid, right, Gary?
Yes, by definition. They're either stupid or insane. There's really no other choice. You're believing in something no more founded in a fact than a leprechaun theory. That's all it is. It's a stupid, idiotic story. And your story doesn't even make any sense. I mean, people never debate where leprechauns come from. Or where leprechauns, like where they grow. Do they grow out of the roots of a tree? You know, we don't even have a story about where the leprechauns poof from. But where'd your God poof from, Brett? And what was your God doing for a zillion, trillion, bazillion, gazillion, bazillion, zillion, zillion years? What exactly did this God that has no family, has no mommy, has no father, has no brothers, has no society, has no culture of gods, who's only the only God all by himself for a zillion, bazillion, 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 forever and ever and ever, just sitting there with his own little fucking brain, and you're saying the best he could come up with after thinking forever was to put nipples on his atom. Yeah, really clever guy. Fuck you, you dumb, ignorant cunt.
Well, hell, Gary. Speaking of Albert Einstein...
Oh, yeah, so do some more quote mining. Do some more lying for God. Okay, you're a liar for God, right? We all know the Einstein quotes, and you know I could post twice as many, 10 times as many quotes where Einstein makes it clear he doesn't believe in any God. He thinks the forces of nature are a suitable definition of any kind of... If you need a... What's the origin of the universe? Well, I guess it's the natural laws. And you know that's what he believed, jackass. You know he never prayed to anything. You know it, you know it, you know it. And now you're just going to lie about Albert Einstein because you don't give a fuck. You'll lie about anyone because you're just such a liar.
He said, the more I study science, the more I believe in God. The Wall Street Journal, December 24, 1997, article by Jim Holt.
Yes, and where do you think the quote was from? You think the quote was from 1997? Do you think that's when Albert Einstein said it? After he was long dead, you retard? Fucking A.
Science resurrects God. How about that?
How about that? Yes, it doesn't mean a thing and you goddamn know it. You're just quote mining and feeling, oh, I'm quote mining for God. I'm lying for God. But what else is new? You'll lie for anything as long as it puts a fucking, a drama chip in your fucking fat ass piggy bank.
But let's not stop there, my uncombed friend. I want to know how God created this world.
Yes, I was created uncombed. You see, this is sort of called natural, fuckhead. Alright, I don't need dark glasses to look cool. And I don't have to play no fucking games, okay? You fucking God, you really are. I mean, what is this whole, this reclining thing you're doing? You know, frankly, somebody who's supposed to have a bad back, that's got to be bad for your back, asshole. Got to be. I don't think any chiropractor or whatever you call back doctors, I don't think any of them would recommend lying on your stomach. Just saying. I want to know how God created this world. I am interested in the phenomenon and the spectrum of that element, known the thoughts and the details. Albert Einstein. Oh, again, you're quoting more Albert Einstein. Again, there's more Einstein quotes where he points out quite aggressively, I can't be called anything but an agnostic on your fairy tales. Oh.
I'm not interested in this or that phenomenon, and the spectrum of this or that element. I want to know his thoughts. The rest are just details. Albert Einstein from E. Salmon. A talk with Einstein.
Right, and by his thoughts, Einstein's just using a metaphor because we know what Einstein really wanted. He wanted a clock. He wanted to know how the clock thought. He said that was the whole point of Einstein, and the whole fight with Bohr was he was fighting the idea of a mushy universe because Einstein was saying no, it's a mechanical universe. It's determined. You don't think Einstein was a determinist, retard?
The Listener, 54 in 1955, page 370 to 371, quoted in Jammer, page 123.
Right, and again, just keep playing a game like you really believe that none of these statements are constructed for a society that was very intolerant to anyone being an atheist. We still don't have, you can't be an outed atheist and have liberty politically in this country still because you fascist lunatics.
Shit, son. I could sit here and do this all day.
Yes, you could quote mine all day. You could slander the words and character of people all day for God. Be a slanderer for God. We see what you're doing, Brett. What's this? Okay, yes, maybe you'll fool your little Christian followers because just like Donald Trump, you'll say one phrase that might say something to them. It's my favorite book. And you'll say something about a spiritual feeling or I had a love feeling. And that'll make them feel all gooey and happy. All right? You'll feed them a few little crumbs while you pick their pockets. But you're not going to fool me, you fucking scumbag.
Hey, Gary. A majority of the founders of all scientific fields have been religious.
Yeah, and this was already answered to you by Christopher Seven in an interview, and I'm sure Fake Sagan has probably pointed it out in the past, and all kinds of people have pointed it out. That doesn't have anything to do with anything because the world they lived in was an uninformed world. Most of the sciences. Religion was the first science. It was just a really bad one, like astrology. Are you still an astrologer? Do you think that the stars are dictating when volcanoes are going to explode, retard? Do you think we should throw some virgins in? That's another religious fable. You stupid fucking scumbag.
Is where you call people who are religious fucking idiots or stupid. Maybe it's little Gary that lives in his little fucking hermit hovel.
Okay, so now, you're this guy supposed to be this agoraphobic and blah, 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 and all this crap, and then you're doing this crap. I mean, more dishonesty. You're just such a dishonest character. You don't have any condition. You don't have anything, because you wouldn't say something like that. That just makes it so fucking obvious. All right, the last thing you would do if you have a disability like the polio or something or the plague or warts, the last thing you would do is go accusing somebody else of being wart-faced, right? How much sense does that make, fucking asshole? Yeah, you liar. So just more lies by Barf Keane. Lies by Barf Keane. In the name of God, I lie. God, you just can't be a bigger piece of scum.
Is a true idiot. Guy can't even take a bath on a fucking regular.
Yeah, right. Which, like I said, if you look at my website, you can see that yes, it happens every single night around the same time. So, fuck you again, asshole. Get what you deserve, which is pretty much being called a fat sea cow.
Basis. Both religion and science require belief in God. For believers, God is in the beginning, and for physicists, he is at the end of all considerations. To the former, he is the foundation; to the latter, the crown and edifice of every generalized worldview. There can never be any real opposition between religion and science. For the one...
Yeah, why don't you bring up Newton? Newton was the real crazy religious guy. All right, but there's other ones who weren't. So again, you're just going to keep playing the game. But you know, they burned people at the stake for being a heretic. You do understand that, don't you, asshole?
Is the complement of the other. Every serious and reflective person realizes, I think, that the religious element in his nature must be recognized and cultivated if all powers of the human soul are to act.
Right. So again, so this is a Max Planck quote. Now I don't know enough about him to say what he might have said later in his life. So again, quote mining, all over the place.
Act together in perfect balance and harmony. And indeed, it was not by accident that the greatest thinkers of all ages were deeply religious souls. Max Planck, the Nobel Prize-winning physicist who made the crucial scientific contribution of founding quantum physics.
Well, that's not even true, but whatever. Quantum physics is bullshit, by the way. But yeah, no, Max Planck, the idea of coming up with constants, yeah, good idea. But not exactly brain surgery when you think about it. Like, I mean, fuck.
Religion and Natural Science lecture given in 1937, Scientific Autobiography and Other Papers, Trans F. Gaynor, New York, 1949.
Right, so every white male is an asshole because Barf Keane is. Is that your argument? Oh. It's a really dumb argument, you stupid fucking cretin.
Page 184. Let's not forget John Lennox, who is still alive today, considered the greatest mathematician in the world.
Well, again, who the fuck cares about that? Not me.
Is a Christian. The point is, Gary, is that all these religious people...
I mean, I could bring up all the other 98% of the great scientists who are aggressively atheist. I mean, you know, maybe somebody should just compile all their names. You know, just put Dawkins at top and go on down the list. Especially in physics today. I mean, in physics today, you're not going to find too many religious kooks, Bretty.
Who went on to win awards and get put in magazines and all that. And you, one hair away from being a fucking baboon, you've achieved nothing.
Yes, well, again, one is measured by the conclusion. The book is the whole book, but that's something you wouldn't understand either, because you just quote mine books. You don't read the whole book.
In your life, you will probably wake up dead one day in your little ship.
I'll wake up dead. Oh, wow. That's a clever remark from one of those smarty-aided religious folky, right? Brilliant. Great move, Brett. Go ahead. Show how the scientists are Christian, and then you can show how you're a real intellectual.
Whole fucking wishing that you had had any kind of importance, but it is.
Yeah, right. I can't tell you how I don't need a confidence boost. I don't even know how to explain that to you. In the sense that I'm so confident that I've done a splendid job of doing this living thing. And, you know, I'm not only going to be remembered as a brilliant physicist, but yes, all the rest of it's going to be like forever. Like, people are just going to say, how did this one man be able to put all of these words together so fucking well when they really analyze it? So I don't have any problem like that, Brett. I've already made my legacy. I mean, I'm already way the fuck ahead, and everything I do while I'm currently still alive is just going to be gravy. I mean, I've already said everything that needs to be said realistically. It's all recorded. It's in the vault. It's in the book. Okay, so it's all done. And I'm just sitting here on top, and yeah, maybe I get something out of it, but if I don't, I don't. It really doesn't matter. I've done my job. And I feel quite satisfied Like I said, I'd like to have done better. I'd like to be doing better as it's happening right now in front of us. But I'm just saying, I don't have anything that where I say, oh, gee, I'm a total failure like a Barf Keane. You think anybody's going to remember you, you stupid self-promoting piece of crap? Fuck. I would like people, instead of going, I mean, there's people who I think are worthy of having their graves pissed on, and then people who I think are worthy of having their graves shit on. But you're worthy of having your grave puked on. So if anybody, you know, if you really think you can just work up a quick little puke, yeah, head to Brett's grave. That's the place for it.
What it is. It's the nature of the beast. It's survival of the fittest, remember? And you lost.
Says Barf Keane, the biggest internet YouTube loser ever. I mean, the poster child for internet loser. I mean, not only does he switch sides, which is, oh, God, that's so embarrassing, right? Oh, I did all that talking and I was full of shit, and now I'm going to talk some other shit where I'm full of shit some more. I mean, you know, you assholes who think changing your mind demonstrates what? Besides, oh, you had it wrong. You failed to get the correct answer. And that your new answer is now just as suspect as the evidence demonstrates, which is the best you can do is 50-50. You're on the reliability scale, Brett. You're like 50-50. You might even be less than that, but you might even admit that you were in your young life were a Christian or something, and then you switch sides, and then you switch back. So that makes you that makes you only 33% reliable at best. You stupid ass. Where I've always been the same guy.
Rest in peace, Gary.
Yeah, well, I got no problem resting, and you know, I'm not the little creepy, petty, weaselly piece of shit like you, where I'll go steal somebody else's name and go steal somebody else's life story and go steal somebody else's reputation and character, and I'll go play a game with it, a dishonorable game, where you don't know the truth of Max Planck, you don't know the truth of the people you're quoting. And you'll sit there and feel, okay, I'm going to use them for my purposes. Just like you're using the word God. Just like you're using that cross. Because you're just a fucking user. You're using that funkin' monkey. You use everything. You just steal from other people and use their shit to fill your own stupid, greedy pockets. And that's all there is. Your stupid, lazy, greedy pockets. You fucking weaselly cunt. Anyway. Disgusting. So anyway, I'll read a comment that's sort of relevant to this video. These people do piss me off. Attacks from YouTube, fucking to the point. Ad hominem attacks. Yeah, this guy is so weird. He sounds intelligent, philosophical, sort of, but spends so much time and so much energy in his videos on ad hominem attacks. Well, I mean, they're counter attacks, but yeah, they're sort of okay. You don't really have a resort. I mean, beyond just, you know, when something is so despicable, what are you going to? How exactly are you going to argue with Hitler besides calling him an asshole? I mean, what are you going to do on some YouTuber? Are taking forever to get to any point. Well, again, if that's your opinion, why you just go away, asshole. I don't think I take forever to get to a damn point. I talk pretty fast, and frankly, I just think it's a silly argument. What exactly do you want? You want some sort of condensed version of reality. Well, it's a little more complicated than that, jackass. People write whole books to say something really, really fucking simple. Idiot. I want to like him, well fuck that shit, but his ad hominem attacks are pretty ridiculous. Again, why don't you quote one of them? Exactly who have I offended that's on your list of great human beings that didn't deserve it? I would ask him, Gary, do you believe in free will? Question mark. Well, why would I do something that stupid? I would say not, because then that would remove his psychological rationalization for abusing others. Oh, abusing others. It's, again, point to me the person being abused, and you show me how they are innocent, how they don't deserve the counter argument of opinions he feels they choose to believe. Well, obviously what I'm saying, I've said over and over again, free will, existing or non-existing, determinism as a fact, doesn't change the fact that people are assholes, jackass. So what are you going to call Adolf Hitler? Oh, he's just a determined being and of no consequence and blah, 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 blah. No, you call him broken, you call him an asshole. This is what these things are, jerk. Instead, we're compelled to believe based on whatever, and environment, heredity and environment. Well, again, how does what causes asshole have anything to do with the fact of asshole? Asshole. You don't understand that? You think we should just call everything great, no matter if it's not great. If it was determined to be a piece of shit. If the fucking glass is cracked and broken, you call it cracked and broken. You don't sit there and pretend. Go ahead, pour a drink in it. Go ahead, drink out of it. Even though it's cracked and you'll drink glass. You're just too stupid. But people really are stupid. I have even less patience than him. But I can't hate people for more than 10 minutes. Well, I can definitely do more than 10 minutes. They're bullying 4chan culture on YouTube reality, and it's really stupid. Have you not noticed this bullying ownage culture? It's kind of a surprise from someone who is otherwise so smart that he could spend more time pushing his message. Well, again, exactly pushing. What does that exactly mean? I mean, clearly this medium doesn't have any patience for anybody being stale. I'm just going to basically tell you what the truth is, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, and that's not going to get you too far. You have to at least demonstrate some kind of personality. And, again, I'm not defending where the argument goes. But, again, I didn't just make that Barf Keane video, did I? I didn't just make a video slandering Darwin and doing all this other crap, right? So, I mean, how exactly, if you can do it so much better, why don't you do it, weasel fuck? Yeah, I mean, you're just so irritating. Are deconstructing contemporary philosophy rationally, not just repeating himself. Well, again, you say it's all repeating myself. I'm saying it's recontextualization, and that this has to happen. Obviously, look, we're talking about Darwin in this context. I mean, it's now hundreds of years, almost 200 fucking years, that mankind has had pretty solid evidence, okay, that he didn't fucking get created out of dust by a fucking god. And you still have to argue with people, okay? And there's a ton of really good arguments. Like, there's no fucking evidence of your God. Like, your God was so insensitive, he didn't even tell you about penicillin. He didn't give us one single head start. He didn't tell us about, you know, light diffraction. Didn't tell us how to make airplane wings get more lift. Never gave us any advice or any help whatsoever. He forced us to crash in airplanes. He forced men to drown in submarines. He forced us to learn everything the fucking hard way, you stupid jackass, and people still believe in that fucking asshole God. So what are you talking about? We sit there and know that the God didn't inspire the North American Indians, that they all went to hell. Why? Because no one told them about Jesus? The whole thing doesn't make any motherfucking sense. It's a fucking ludicrous goddamn fairy tale. And you're arguing with me. Why don't you argue with that, you shithead? Why don't you show me how you make a disciplined, peaceful little polite argument to imbecility that fucking deep and ugly? Why don't you show me how you do that, jackass? Over and over that someone is such a piece of shit. And what would you say to them? Oh, you're just a marvelous human being full of fairy tales. Isn't that lovely? Anyway, I've heard Gary in another video admit he could tone down his language and anger, but the temptation is kind of strong to resort. Look, no, it's not even the temptation. You know what it is? It's the fucking, it runs through my fucking head every day. I have to see the little pigs getting tormented, and I see the lions dying on the savannah, and the little cubs getting bitten by cobras, and I see this shit every fucking day and I see these glib motherfucking Hitlers walking around with their little mustaches twitching, going, I'm a superior being with a superior fucking creator, and I can do whatever I want, and it's natural, even though there's absolutely no evidence of anything being natural about eating meat. Not one single thing does it make any sense. We can't catch any live prey, we can't chew hide, we can't even chew meat, okay, unless it's cooked, and we can't digest raw meat. And then they say something stupid like, oh no, we went around and ate dead things. Even though dead thing is the most obnoxious smell to a human being possible. There's no smell more obnoxious to a human being than the smell of a dead fucking thing. This is how stupid the stupidity is, you motherfuckers. Alright, the winner is the first person to claim the other is distressed, regardless of truth, fact, or reality. I don't even know what that means, Bitfishkin, but whatever. Frankly, but I'm just saying, look, when I first made videos on YouTube, I didn't have any drama, so there wasn't any drama, okay? So I had conversations about brains, I had conversations about all kinds of things, and there wasn't jackasses stirring the mix, okay? So it really depends on who's in the mix. So you want to show me where there's some community on YouTube that actually can have rational conversation, fine. But all I've experienced is as soon as you challenge their bullshit, they start to invade your personal life and start attacking you and doing all kinds of shit. So I say fuck you to that bullshit. You can't walk up to a Christian and say, you're kind of fascist in your whole attitude, aren't you? Like you think you own the truth and you're going to tell other people how to live, or you're going to take away their right to do something you don't even need the right for. Like I don't need, I don't need lots of white rights that women might need, because I don't have periods and I don't have this and I don't have all that stuff, so I don't need certain rights. And I should just give those rights away. I should sacrifice them on the altar of my religion. I mean, religious people are monstrously hideous creatures. They're disgustingly stupid. And they're stupid for a reason. And this reason is completely selfish, because they don't even believe in the fucking religion. That's what makes it even worse. They don't show any evidence of any deep faith. None. They can't, And again, this critique. Again, who are you defending? Like, you're up to something, you little fucking creepy fuck. There's some particular asshole that you're sucking the dick of. And if it's that Barf fucking Keane that makes you such a fucking weasel. Because this is a weasel, can't even stop saying fuck and shit and cunt and all that other kind of crap. Who can't clean up his potty mouth for Christ. This God, he sits there and puts in the fucking title of his videos. He swears for God. Fuck. So really, fuck you. Yeah, asshole.